In this video, I'm going to show you how to fully automate your social media posting using Claude Code. No complicated setup, no coding experience needed. We'll build this together step by step, from installation of Claude to creating high quality content to posting automatically on social media platforms like LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. By the end, you'll have a real system running on autopilot. All right, let's get started. So just quickly before we get started on installation step-by-step process, we're going to actually focus on posting this whiteboard infographic post on LinkedIn, and we can post this on other social media platforms as well. Like I'm going to show you how to do that. But these posts are really cool. They get a lot of views. They get a lot of engagement. So we're going to focus on this. But then again, like I said, I will show you exactly how to create other posts or other formats if you wish. All right. So the first thing you need to do is you need to make sure you have Claude signed up for a Claude account, of course. So head over to claude.ai. If you don't have an account, go ahead and create a quick account there. You want to make sure you're on the paid plan because it's honestly worth the investment there. You can start with the $20 a month or the max plan if you choose to. So once you install that, the next thing you need to do is you need to head over to Visual Studio Code. Again, we're not going to be using any code at all, but this is an IDE, which stands for Integrated Development Environment, which is a fancy word for saying that you can see all of the files and the code, the Claude code and everything else in one cohesive place. So once you install, I have a Mac, so you go ahead and download for your whatever computer you're using. So I already have it installed. So once you have it installed, basically it's going to look something like this. Let me get rid of it. So this is, once you open Visual Studio Code, you will have this welcome sign. In order to add Claude Code, what we need to do is you need to head over to the extensions here. So this is extensions, and you can just search for Claude Code. And you're going to click on the first one here and make sure this is by Anthropic. And as you can see, it has 4.9 million downloads. So you want to download this one. So once you install this, it's going to look something like this. Now, once you're done, go ahead and click outside there. Go back to these files right here. And in order for us to now access Claude Code, all you need to do is just double click in the middle right here. And on the top right hand corner, once you have installed that extension, you'll see that Claude Code sign shows up here. So I'm going to click on that. And now you have Claude Code installed in this Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to get rid of this file here. Another thing we need to do is we need to create, if this is your first time, you want to create a folder. So you can do that by going over to the file here and click on Open Folder and just create a folder on your desktop. I've just put social media. So you're just going to click on Open, and it's going to open the folder right here. As you can see on the left-hand side right now, I don't have any files. Okay. So we're not going to create any files or folders inside of this, but we're going to have Claude basically create everything for us. All right. So for those of you who are new to using Claude Code inside, an IDE like Visual Studio Code or Google's Anti-Gravity, essentially you have on the bottom right here, the ability to kind of have Claude Code either plan something, ask you for everything before edits, and that becomes a little annoying, or just edit automatically. I'm going to leave it in edit automatically, and then we can change it to others if we choose to later on. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to have Claude Code create some kind of a viral post for us, for some related to a particular topic, right? And like I said, we can schedule this, and I'm going to show you how to do that later on. But I'm going to go ahead and type something like research SEO versus GEO and write a thought-provoking LinkedIn post about the future of search. For those of you who are not familiar with SEO versus GEO, so SEO stands for search engine optimization, and GEO, which is the new hot topic, which stands for generative engine optimization, which essentially means that instead of optimizing for Google searches of the world, you're not now optimizing your posts for, ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini and everything. And by the way, you can search or you can create a post about anything, right? Like you can just say, hey, if you want to create a LinkedIn post about Claude Code or AI agents, whatever it may be, you can just type it in here. So I'm just going to press enter. So this is going to go ahead and research and create a LinkedIn post for me. So what it's going to do is it's asking us to allow searching for this query, right? So you can press the 1 or you can just click on yes here. So it's just going to ask you a bunch of questions. So that way you allow it to do web research. So go ahead and let it do that. All right, there you go. So it did a bunch of web research and then now created this post for LinkedIn. Says the game changed. Most marketers didn't notice. For 25 years, SEO was simple, blah, 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 right? So you have this post that it created. So now if you want to have this be created as a file, right? Because we want to have a post for LinkedIn, a post for Twitter, Instagram, and everything else. I'm just going to basically ask Claude Code to do that for me. So I'm going to go ahead and say, create a file in this project for this LinkedIn post, and also create a file for Instagram and another one for Twitter. And again, you can keep adding more. Let's say if you want to add it for TikTok and everything else, right? So I'm going to press enter here, and now it's going to, as you can see on the left hand side right now, it's blank. This folder is blank. You'll see now new files will be created inside this particular directory with LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. So there you go. It created the LinkedIn post. So if I click on this, as you can see, let me actually move this on this side. There you go. So now you can see we have this LinkedIn post created in this particular file for LinkedIn. We got one for Instagram, right? There you go. It actually even has a carousel slide suggestion that it does for you, right? And then another one for Twitter there. Okay, so that's how we can create these different files. So let's go back to our Claude there. So there you go. It said all three files are created in your social media project. Okay, so now what we could do is, again, we can click on these to check out if you want to make any changes. You can basically add any changes or manually add any kind of particular text if you want. Okay, so as you can see, I mean, these are pretty long. Like, I'm going to focus on LinkedIn for now, and we can take a look at the other ones. Obviously, you don't want for it to be this long, right? Because longer posts with a bunch of text doesn't get a lot of attention and engagement. So what we could do is now tell Claude, hey, you know what? Like, some of these are longer or whatever other formatting you want to present. That's where we can actually tell Claude Code to incorporate our own brand voice, right? So, and it's very easy to do that. You can just say, can you incorporate my brand voice for these posts and for posts moving forward? So now I'm going to press enter. And what this means is that we want to create this formatting or this brand voice that we have for whatever, whether it's like your own personal brand or a company or a business or whatever it may be. Then you can basically have Claude tell you, or you tell Claude to create me a brand voice based on some of these selections. As you can see right here, it's now going to ask you these questions, and based on these answers, it's going to make sure that moving forward, it creates the post exactly based on your selection or your own branding. So now it's asking as, how would you like to describe your brand's tone and personality, right? So bold, direct, casual and conversation, professional and authoritative, witty and provocative, right? So I'm just going to say, let's just do casual and conversational, right? There you go. So audience, who's your prominent audience across these platforms? Founders and CEOs, marketing professionals, general business audience, entrepreneurs and creators. I'm going to say entrepreneurs and creators. And let's see, perspective. It says, oh, did I enter that? Yep. The next one is perspective. What perspective do you typically write from? Industry insider, educator, teacher, contrarian thinker. I'm just going to say educator and teacher because I have a YouTube channel, of course. Are there any phrases, sign-offs, or styles you choose always? No emojis, minimal emojis welcome. I have specific rules. I'm just going to say emojis welcome, whatever. That's fine. So I'm going to click on submit answers. And now this is going to take all of those choices and incorporate it to my own brand voice here. And as you can see right here, it's going to have memory.md. So it's going to create this file, and moving forward, and this memory.md is going to be kind of like a file that it's going to remember and reference in the future. So let's go ahead and let this complete. So it says now let's rewrite all three posts. So it's going to rewrite the LinkedIn, the Twitter, the Instagram post based on these brand voices. And like I said, moving forward, it will remember your choices and your brand voice. And so when you create moving forward, it will be able to do that. All right, so it went ahead and updated all the tools. So basically all these different files, this is all three posts are rewritten with your brand voice. Here's what's changed. So I'll show you what's changed. And it says your brand voice is now saved to memory. So all future posts will automatically use the same style. So now if I click on this LinkedIn one, as you can see right here, now everything is written in the same brand voice that we just had made those choices, right? So another thing is, let's say if these are too long, that was another thing that I forgot to mention. I'm just going to say, also, it looks like these posts are too long. So I'm going to press enter. I said, these two posts are too long. Make sure they're short and to the point, and then also make sure that they abide by all the platform's character limits, because obviously Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn, they might have separate character limits. You want to make sure that you're incorporating that. So now I'm just going to, that's the great thing about Claude Code. You can always just go back and forth forth and just tell it what to do, and it will do the research itself, and it will actually do the changes or make the changes on its own. So let's go ahead and let it finish, and there you go. As you can see, now it changed the LinkedIn from that long post to this really nice, short, and punchy post there. So let's go ahead and let it finish the other posts as well. So it finished all of it. As you can see right here, it redid all of the tools, and it also gave me the character limits here. And so now if we click on Twitter, now as you can see, this is for Twitter. Another one is for Instagram. And there you go. Perfect. By the way, the bottom right here, the slide 1, slide 2, this is not like the post. This is just basically suggesting if you want to post as carousel. All right. Awesome. So it looks like now we get our social media posts already created. And by the way, like I mentioned before, if you want to add for TikTok and other social media as well, you just basically follow the same exact process. So now that we have our post ready to go, now we also want to obviously create some visuals, right? Because without visuals, a lot of times these posts don't look that good. And also if we want to post all of these, or create our post and post them in all of the social media platform without leaving Claude Code, what we need to do is connect it to one MCP. Now, an MCP, for those of you who are not familiar, stands for Model Context Protocol. This was by Anthropic, that was introduced, I think, a year ago. But MCP, to put it in simple words, essentially is a connector, right, that allows Claude Code to connect to multiple apps, to other apps, so that way it's basically like a USB or like a universal connector, right? For AI assistants or for AI in general to be connected to apps that you're using on a daily basis. So in order for us to now post this in all of these different social media platforms automatically directly from Claude Code and actually schedule posting, we need to use an MCP called Blotato MCP. So for those of you who are not familiar, go ahead and click on the link in the description. You can create a free account there. They have a free trial for a week. This is a really great platform where you can basically connect to all social media platform directly from Blotato here. So Blotato has its own MCP. So once you create your account or you log in, you're going to come here to the left. I'm going to click on skip this resource. You're going to come here on the left hand side, click on settings here, and you're going to click on APIs here. All right, so here's where we need to connect our Blotato in Claude Cowork. As you can see right here, all you have to do is click on copy setup command. Now, one thing to notice, so if I copy this and if I go back to my Visual Studio Code and if I paste this, this is going to just say Claude MCP add transport. Again, it's going to say a bunch of little things. And most importantly, it's going to have your API key. As you can see right here, it will automatically copy your API key. So it says header, Blotato API key, and it's this. So if you just follow the step that I just showed you, if you just click on settings and click on copy setup command, it will show you exactly, or you can just paste that exact same thing inside your Visual Studio Code and it'll just show up. One thing is, because we're using Claude Code inside our Visual Studio Code, this command right here is for terminal. So we need to add something extra to this to make sure that Claude Code doesn't run into any issues. So I'm just going to press Shift Enter so that way I get some space here. On top here, what we need to do is I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste this. So you can just copy this right here. By the way, once I type this, you can just pause the screen and type it yourself. And for those of you who are part of my community, you can just come to the classroom section, click on this Claude Code classroom, the build and sell with Claude Code. Under the projects in the bottom, it says automate with social media, and you can just basically have access to this and all of the other resources as well. All right. So, and for those of you who are not, that's fine. Don't worry. All you have to do is just copy this portion and you're going to come right here and I'm just going to paste this. And by the way, just you can see it's very simple. I'm saying add the following MCP server as if you were running Claude MCP add command and add it to userscope.claude.json. Create the file if it doesn't exist. Okay, so something very simple, and you'll just basically paste that one this particular thing from that Blotato MCP that you copied. So now I'm going to press enter. So now it should be able to go and ask me allow reading from .claude.json. I'm going to say yes, allow. So now this is going to go through the permissions, because obviously it needs to ask me for certain permissions in order to make changes. And then also if it's accessing MCP, it's going to add it to this file right here, which is settings.claude.json or setting.local.json. Again, don't worry about that if you're not familiar with code. Just know that this is going to add everything we need in order for us to get connected to our Blotato MCP. So that way we can go ahead and start adding our social media to or connecting our social media accounts. All right, so let's go ahead and see what's going on. I'm going to press yes, allow. There you go. All right, so it says done. The Blotato MCP server has been added to Claude.json, transport, blah, blah, blah. So you'll need to restart Claude Code for the new MCP server to be picked up. Okay, so in order to start Claude Code is very simple. Inside your Visual Studio Code, all you have to do is click on the top right here on the Claude Code open little icon here. So I'm going to click on this, and as you can see, now I have a new Claude Code terminal. So I'm going to get rid of this so that way we can work on this. All right, so now that's done. Now let's go ahead and actually ask it to use this MCP by creating that infographic that we looked at earlier. So one thing to note in the bottom, as you can see right here, it says ask before edit. So I'm just going to click on this so that way it goes to edit automatically. And then as you can see right here, this LinkedIn post.md is automatically like selected, but if it's not, you can just click on it and it'll automatically select that. Now I'm going to just go ahead and tell it to create that infographic post based on my LinkedIn file here. Okay, so I said make a whiteboard infographic from the LinkedIn post, right? So all I have to do is press enter, and now it's going to go ahead and take a look at that LinkedIn post file, right? It says, let me read the LinkedIn post first, then we'll find a suitable whiteboard template. So I'm just going to say, as you can see right here, it says, do you want to proceed with the MCP Blotato visual templates? And I'm going to say, yes, allow MCP templates. So what this means is basically it's going through Blotato and it's going to go and check the different templates that are available inside, and it's going to select that infographic template, right? So that's why it's asking you for permission here. So we're going to go ahead and let this finish processing, and then I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like and how you can access other templates as well. All right, so it says that the whiteboard infographic is done. Here it is, right? If I click on this, now it should take me directly to that whiteboard infographic. As you can see, it's really well done. It's SEO versus GEO, get found versus get cited. SEO gets you found, GEO gets you cited. And it's really this very beautiful whiteboard infographic that it created. And by the way, to access this, from Blotato, you're going to go ahead and go to the left-hand side, click on videos, and you will see your generations right here. So you can see this was created 3 minutes ago. So if I click on this, this is gonna pull up this post right here, or this generation. Now, obviously you can have other, you can have other templates in there as well that you can use. So that was just the whiteboard templates. If I go back to my videos here, click on create new video. So here you have a bunch of different templates that you can choose, and you can just tell Claude Code basically, hey, create, instead of that whiteboard infographic, create a newspaper infographic. It's going to look something like this, or create this TV wall infographic, or this trail marker infographic, right? Or whatever else you want, or like a t-shirt one. And so there's a bunch of templates there. So just tell Claude Code to create whatever template you want to create for that post, and it will automatically do that. So if I go to my videos, again, you can see all of your generations will be right here. Okay, so the next step is now we need to actually post this to our social media accounts. So first thing you need to do, you need to connect your social medias in Blotato. The great thing is you can do it from the same exact spot. I'm going to click on settings here. And this is going to bring you to your accounts. And here's where you can actually log in. All you have to do is just log into your social media. You don't have to do anything else. So I've already connected my Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter. But let's say I want to connect my login with, or connect my Facebook. All I have to do is click on login with Facebook. It's going to bring up my account. Obviously, make sure you are in the same browser that you're logged into that account, and I'm just going to click on continue, and it will connect me. And same thing on, let's say you want to add to your LinkedIn, just going to click on login with LinkedIn. You're going to add your email or password and just sign in, and it will automatically get you logged in. And at the bottom, as you can see, it says connected accounts. I have my Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter, but you can connect others in there as well. All right, so let's go ahead and post this. I'm going to post this on LinkedIn now, and maybe schedule it for my Instagram tomorrow, and then for my X maybe in 3 days or something like that, right? Because so that way you can see how you can actually schedule posts automatically. So now I'm going to go ahead and tell Claude Code All right, go ahead and post the LinkedIn post now and schedule the Instagram post for tomorrow and the Twitter or X post for Thursday, February 26th. Okay, so I'm just going to enter. Again, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but we can iterate. And like I mentioned before, the great thing about Claude Code is you can always just go back and forth there. All right, so it says, do you want to proceed with MCP? Yep, allow MCP for all the projects here. So now if I go to my Instagram or in my LinkedIn here, so go to my profile. As you can see, my last post was about Zapier, this video that I created. And now when it's done, it should be able to post that on my LinkedIn right now. So if I go back here, yeah, it's still working. All right, so it says your LinkedIn account connection expired, which caused all 3 posts to fail. You need to reconnect your accounts to Blotato first. That's because I think my account connection must have been expired. So let's go ahead and reconnect, but it's very simple to do. So all I have to do is click on reconnect here. Let's say I want to do it for my LinkedIn there. There you go. I'm just going to sign in. Oops. I'm going to sign in here. Okay, perfect. Oops. There's a lot going on here. So looks like my LinkedIn got connected. I'm also gonna reconnect my Instagram. Allow. Perfect, that got connected. And then same thing for my Twitter. Authorize app. Done. It's literally that simple. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do this again. So I'm just gonna say, all right, I reconnected everything, try again. So I'm gonna press this. And if I go back to my LinkedIn, refresh the page, let's see if it's gonna put this already. Nope, not yet, because it's not done yet. Okay, so it says Blotato SEO got found. There you go. All 3 posts are live, scheduled. Here's the recap. LinkedIn published now with the whiteboard infographic. I can click on view post from here. So, and says Instagram scheduled for tomorrow, Twitter scheduled for Thursday. All right, so let's go back to my LinkedIn here. And if I refresh the page, hopefully now it posted. Hey, perfect. There you go, right? It says click on more. If I click on more here, there you go. So I got this nice SEO versus GAO, get found versus get cited. I've got this nice little text accompanying it with emojis and everything based on that brand voice, right? And also I've got the post all live and good to go. So now, and if I want to know when this is going to get posted on my Instagram and Twitter, I can check this by going to Blotato, and the left hand side I can click on calendar, and you will see that upcoming posts. There you go. Let me move myself out of the way. So it says the Instagram post is scheduled for tomorrow, I believe, right? Wednesday. Yep. Today is Tuesday, February 24th. So for tomorrow. And then my Twitter, this is for Thursday, February 26th. That's it. That's how simple it is. And you can keep like scheduling, like let's say for TikTok, if you want to add this to TikTok and other social media as well, you can either schedule all of them in different like days, or you can put all of them at the same time or immediately, or however you want to schedule it. So there you go. That's basically your entire social media on complete autopilot. Check this out and make sure, if you have any questions, please post them in the comments. I'll try to get to all of them as soon as possible. And for those of you who are interested in learning how to monetize Claude Code and learn how to start your AI agency, check out the community link. It's going to be in the description. There's lots of great courses there about Claude Code, N8N, Voice AI, and most importantly, how to start your AI agency. Everything's there. A bunch of people from all over the world, and also technical support when you need it. All right. Make sure you like, subscribe, because I've got a lot more content coming up that you don't want to miss. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.